What's the first thing I do when I get off stage? I smoke a zoo, honestly. I'd like to say like I do big ram or some shit. Smoke a zoo, lie down on the floor, go, oh! Hello, I'm Matty from 1975 and these are my firsts for The Enemy. The first band t-shirt that I owned. It'll be a Green Day or a Korn hoodie. It'll be one of those early 2000s Kerrang kind of things. The hoodie that I put on at 14 and put on at 15 and took off at 19 was my blue Glassjaw hoodie. I had a blue Glassjaw hoodie with the yellow G on it. The amount of money I would pay to find that hoodie again, but I used to live in it. There's a lot of music in my house. So the first music that I fell in love with was like Otis Redding. That was the first thing that I loved because I saw my dad love it so much. So I was like, what is this? So Otis Redding, James Brown was the first music that I loved. I think the first CD I bought was Bye Bye Bye, NSYNC. That's my first memory of buying CDs. But then what I started to do was we would go and buy I remember when Iowa by Slipknot came out and it was the same year that System of a Down, Toxicity I think came out that year. So me and my mates would go to HMV, one of us, we'd buy 6 CDs, we'd come back, take them home, burn them, the next day go back and be like, oh, one of them's got a scratch on and I actually want to return all of these as well. They'd let you return them and you get 6 more CDs and you just keep doing that until you've run out of mates. First band I was in, the 1975. No, it's not, that's not true. 3 Hours Gone was my first band. So the keyboard player in the 1975, me and him started a band when we were 7. You know, it was playing for our dads and stuff like that. And then we started a band. But the 1975, as the lineup it is now, started when we were 13. So that's 20 years ago, literally. I've only ever been in one band. I've been in a band longer than I've been an adult. It's funny to ask me first band I was in as if I should have been in more bands really by now, shouldn't I? The first job I had was working at Cafe Nero. I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't work that much. I did odd jobs. I would get sacked so quickly. I worked at Fat Face for a week. Fucking hated it. And then me and the boys were the delivery boys for the same Chinese restaurant. We'd been a band for 10 years before that, but George used to work at the Flame and Wok. Then Hans started working at the Flame and Wok. Then I'd get the occasional shift, and then by the end of it, we were just the delivery drivers. Best Chinese food you get in the Northwest, Flame and Wok, Wilmslow, trust me, from one of the drivers. I was still working at the Flame and Wok when we beat Coldplay in the alternative album charts. Yeah, I was knee deep in that horrible smell of fairy liquid and garlic. There's so much garlic in Chinese food, and then fairy liquid, you combine those two, it's the worst smell, I hate it. No, they've never given us anything free to this day. First artist I fell in love with, Michael Jackson, honestly, I think, as a very young child. Paedophile, that's annoying, but what can you do? Well, I saw, my first show was Michael Jackson at Wembley, 96. So I would have been 7, so that was the History Tour. That was the first time that I felt in the presence of something really, I know it sounds ridiculous talking about Michael Jackson like that, but very atheistic upbringing, the idea of gods or pantheons wasn't really there. But then when I seen Michael Jackson in real life, I was like, whoa, that's a real superstar, you know? Well, I tried to write songs when I was younger, and then I kind of wouldn't. But the first song I wrote was a song called 102. It's kind of floated around the 1975 world. People know of it. That was the first time that I wrote a song. I mean, but that's also in and amongst Drive Like I Do stuff that was getting written. So Drive Like I Do was just figuring out how to write songs. Do you know what I mean? I think the things with the Drive Like I Do thing is, I know that I've got a reputation for just I had a reputation for saying that I'm going to do lots of things and them never happening. all of the things that I've said that I was going to do, films that I'm writing, records that I'm making, they're kind of still in development. It's just that the 75 always takes priority in my mind. It's not that like it's the thing that makes me money, it's like it's always way more important. So I made the Drive Like I Do 4-track record and I really liked it, and I have to sit on stuff and then edit it before I love it. By the time I sat on it and started editing it, I was making a 75 record. B had fallen in love with Pictures of Us, which I thought was better for her, because it was like this mineral kind of thing. It was like a good reference. There's two Drive Like I Do songs that I kind of just want to put out, but then I think I'll just wait till I finish the EP, but when am I going to do that? Like, I don't know, it does exist. And it is what you can imagine. It's like if Drive Like I Do had never left that emo world, you know? Like, what would it sound like now? First gig that the 1975 played, I mean, I'd played like on stages and stuff like that, but the first time the lineup that exists now was at Macclesfield Old People's Centre, where they used to do like bingo, and they would occasionally do this youth band thing. And this is 2003, 4. We stepped out and we played for the first time. We played like covers of like Ghostbusters and like Lit. What was that tune, that My Own Worst Enemy by Lit and stuff like that. We played a couple of songs, but we might have played Penelope. I think Penelope might have existed by that point. Yeah, that was our first show, and there was probably about 100 people there, and it still sticks with me to this day that we were like, okay, like we're gonna be in a band now, that's it. That is 100% it. Just the words Brett Easton Ellis to Anna. I just text Anna, Brett Easton Ellis, because she knew what I meant, because I was talking about the podcast. She replied, that's the most Matty text I've ever got in my life. I remember the last time I Googled myself, about 20 minutes ago. Well, no, Googling yourself wasn't a thing for me, because my transition into fame has been different, because my mum was famous. So the reason that I'm called Truman Black on the internet is because before Twitter and Instagram and all that, all you had was Facebook. If you knew someone's name, you could kind of find them on Facebook, like the real person. So my mum was on Celebrity Big Brother, which was just catnip for fucking nutcases, obviously, on the internet. So they would just find me and send me messages. So I changed my name on Facebook to something obscure. I'd like to say I was reading In Cold Blood, but I definitely wasn't. I definitely have just seen the film Capote recently. So yeah, I don't remember the first time I had to, because like I've been, you know, my parents have been, fame has always been a bore to me. Do you know what I mean? Like I love people liking what I do. I'm not interested in being famous. I think it's why I try and subvert it sometimes. What's the first thing I do when I get off stage? I smoke a zoot, honestly. I'd like to say like I do Bic Ram or some shit. Smoke a zoot, lie down on the floor, go, oh, fuck, every gig. No, you know what, I'm so much fitter now. After Reading and after Leeds, we just fucking got on it. We weren't even tired. We're in a really good spot now, like for shows, like, because we're all quite healthy. No, I used to be like addicted to smack, and like, it was all just and we'd been on tour for 10 years. We've all just spent the 2 years in the gym. One of us has had a baby, you know, like sorted our shit out, become men, made our best record, popped a suit on, you know. It kind of seems to be working a bit better than it was. What's the first thing I'm gonna do when the album drops is carry on working on the next one. I don't make 75 records because I've got a 75 record to make. I make 75 records because when I get up in the morning, unless I want to go and like buy interiors, I kind of want to like make music or talk to people about the creators, because it's new music is like new, you know, it's like it's what I want every day. So I'll just be doing that. I don't really think about the last, and apart from like, you know, getting the way it looks and painting the world and stuff like that, I don't really think about it once it's done, because it's done. What am I going to do? Change it? But we're also writing the show, you know, and a 1975 show always has to be a new thing. So I'll be concentrating on that, but hopefully just, you know, smoking weed, making out pretty girls, like what you want to be doing, when you're in a huge band.